Hey, you guys, shout out to the viewer that sent me this article regarding this 21-year-old student named Samantha Josephson. There have been reports that she attended a bar and she was leaving, got into the wrong Uber, and she was found dead in the woods the next day. So I wanted to give you guys the full details on what exactly occurred, and I also want to show you guys some of the reactions from the public. If you're interested in knowing the full details, please stay tuned for the rest of this video. If you have acne problems, hyperpigmentation, and you want a fast and effective solution, definitely go to Simply K Inc. She has an array of skincare products. Go to ashkickin.com, use Paris Milan at checkout for 15% off to get all of your personal hygiene related needs. Please go and support Soulfully Scented. They are a Black-owned hair care store that uses natural products. Go pick up your hair care products today at soulfullyscentedlv.com. X Moisture has a great skincare moisturizer that can be applied to combat dry skin and an array of different skincare issues. Please go to xmoisture.com and pick up your jar today. So Samantha Josephson was a 21-year-old student at the University of South Carolina of Arts and Sciences. She was a senior and was majoring in political science. She and some of her roommates went out to the Bird Dog Bar, which is located in Columbia, South Carolina. At about 2 a.m. on Friday the 29th, she left the bar and requested an Uber. Without confirming the license plate or vehicle to verify if it was in fact her Uber that she requested, she went ahead and got into a black Chevy Impala that she assumed was her Uber ride. She never confirmed with her friends that she made it home. On Friday, March 29th at about 1:30 p.m., they called the police to report her missing since they had not heard from her earlier that morning at about 2 a.m. when she requested the Uber ride. So police decided to conduct an investigation, and as they were conducting their investigation, there was turkey hunters who were hunting in a wooded area in Clarendon County. About 40 feet off of a dirt road in the wooded area, the hunters discovered the corpse of a young woman and contacted police. She was later positively identified as 21-year-old Samantha Josephson. Now, after the police went to the bar and reviewed the surveillance tapes that showed the car Samantha got into, they began to look for the vehicle. The next day, on Saturday, a Columbia officer saw the Impala and stopped the driver. Now, there was a black female that was accompanying him inside of the Impala, and there are some white Facebook users that have located her photo, and because she has not been charged with anything or connected to this murder whatsoever, I'm not going to post her photo the way that they have. After they were stopped, the officer requested that the driver get out of the car, and he began to run and later was apprehended. They identified this driver as 24-year-old Nathaniel Rowland. Now, I want to go ahead and read you guys this criminal report that was created, and unfortunately, the way this person took a photo of it, the wording is cut off, so I'll try to read most of what I can see from this criminal report. So it says, on or about March 29, 2019, the defendant, Nathaniel Rowland, did with malice aforethought commit the offense of murder by causing the death of the victim. The defendant approached the victim in the 5 Points area in the city of Columbia, South Carolina, while she awaited transportation to her residence. The victim was captured on surveillance video entering what appeared to be a black 4-door Chevrolet Impala in front of the Bird Dog Bar. On March 29, 2019, the victim was found deceased in a rural area of Clarendon County, South Carolina, with numerous wounds evident on multiple parts of her body to include her head, neck, face, upper body, leg, and foot. On March 30, 2019, subsequent to a lawful traffic stop by the Columbia Police Department of a 2017 Chevrolet Impala, known hereafter as subject vehicle, driven by the defendant, a large amount of dark color liquid was visible throughout the subject vehicle's passenger compartment, which, when later tested, presumptively tested positive for blood. During the execution of a lawful search warrant on the said subject vehicle, additional amounts of a dark color liquid, which presumptively tested positive for blood, were discovered in the trunk and passenger compartment. Collections of the blood were obtained by SLED forensic crime scene agents and were submitted to SLED DNA laboratory for analysis and compared to a known standard of the victim. The analysis concluded blood located in the subject vehicle was that of the victim. Also, a cellular phone belonging to the victim was found inside the passenger compartment of the subject vehicle. Likewise, located in the subject vehicle was a container of liquid bleach, germicidal wipes, and window cleaner. Further investigation on the subject vehicle determined the child safety and window locks had been activated and would thereby not allow the victim any means of escape from the subject vehicle. The victim's body was also located in an area known to the defendant and near an area where the defendant recently resided, according to law enforcement sensitive, and that's where it kind of got cut off, and then it says, and electronically access state maintained information. Nathaniel is currently being charged with murder and kidnapping in connection to Samantha's death. I also researched and found that they denied his bond, so he is not going to be released. police. And her father has posted about the murder, and he stated, "It is with tremendous sadness and a broken heart that I post this. I will miss and love my baby girl for the rest of life. Samantha is no longer with us, but she will not be forgotten. It is extremely hard to write this and post it, but I love her with all my heart. I could continue to write about her, but it kills me. I sit here and cry while looking at the picture and write this." Her school also released a statement. "Dear Carolina family, it is with the heaviest of hearts that I write these words this morning. Our prayers are with the family and friends of Samantha Josephson. Following the devastating news of her death, times like these leave me searching for words of wisdom and comfort. However, I take solace that the Carolina family is here to embrace those who are hurting. As you make plans for the weekend, remember the tenets of Stand Up Carolina. Look out for one another, be active bystanders, travel in groups, and stay together. If you have not already done so, download the Rave Guardian Safety app, set up your profile, and learn how to use it. It has been a difficult week for our extended Carolina family. The loss of a student is never easy, but this has been a particularly painful few days as we have experienced loss on several of our campuses. As a family, let's continue to pray for all the families experiencing heartache and grief this week." Now, due to the fact that the decedent was a white woman and the alleged murderer is a black man, this has made this case very racialized, and I've been seeing a lot of white users on Facebook making threats towards him, saying that they're going to hang him, calling him the N-word, and I want to read you guys some of these racist posts that have been made. One person in particular says, "Another black man killing a white girl." Then someone also said, "I'm just surprised the Medea movie spammers aren't here yet." Then someone says, "Hope that do-rag doesn't end up in evidence because that's a mean drip." And here's a racist post from this woman named Heather Whitworth that says, "My last post was removed for being inappropriate. This is the African-American N-word that murdered an innocent white girl who had a bright future in life ahead of her. I hope he gets the death penalty. Someone in a southern prison gives him what he deserves." Then there's a racist post from this white woman here named Leal Hankins, and she says, "The law offices of didn't do nothing." Anytime that you see whites saying things like "didn't do nothing," "you kangs," if you hear them making statements like that, or Medea posters or spammers, just know that they are racist white supremacists. Now, as a result of them making these racist statements, there have been some black people who I will not show their faces. They have retaliated against them, and there's one user that said he probably killed her because she got in his car smelling like wet dog. If it was a black girl, no one would care. That's her dumb A fault. Another user said, "Boy, y'all whiteys hecka mad, huh? This is exactly how my people feel when one of our women go missing and turn up dead with little to no media attention. Ha, F Becky, she should have been more careful." Now, if you do recall, South Carolina is the state that the racist white supremacist Dylan Roof executed a group of church-going members. Majority were black women, and there were a few black men, and he did it as a result of saying that he didn't want black men to be raping his women, and so he had this manifesto and executed these black churchgoers. And it was interesting because the same reaction did not occur in this case, where there was an outpouring of support from angry white people that were supporting the churchgoers. Some of them just stayed silent. After he committed this genocidal act against them, the police officers gave him a ride to Burger King. I wonder if that ride to Burger King was offered to Nate in this case. Not only that, but there were some racist white people that were donating to the GoFundMe of Dylan Roof that his sister started, and thankfully GoFundMe decided to delete their crowdfunding campaign. The GoFundMe for Samantha has raised more than $41,000 in less than 24 hours, yet there was this black woman named Tamala Horsford. She was a married woman with a family of 6 children who attended this slumber party that had 7 white women and 3 white men. She ends up dead under suspicious circumstances that has so many unanswered questions, yet her GoFundMe has only raised a little bit more than $6,000 in 4 months. You cannot be a person that uses logic and look at this case and believe that has nothing to do with race, because the difference in police reactions vary based upon race. They solved this case in less than 48 hours, yet there are black women who are still missing all across the freaking United States, and everybody drags their feet to try to solve those cases. And even to this day, there's a woman that was pregnant named Kiera Coles that has been missing since October 2018. They still have not solved that, but anytime a white person goes missing, they stop at nothing to solve their murders, which makes sense because this is their system, and this system was built to protect their women. I also feel like if this case involved a black woman and a non-black man, they would be blaming her for carelessly jumping into a car without verifying that it was in fact her Uber. And I feel like her friends should have encouraged her to make sure that it was the right vehicle, but instead they just kind of let her go. This is a lesson to Uber users. You really have to ensure that you are getting into the right vehicle. It is a matter of life and death. You can't just have your head down on your phone, see a car pull up, you see the Uber emblem, and then you automatically assume that this person is there to pick you up. We do not know why he actually arrived there. It was almost like a perfect timing that he pulls up and then she instantly walks up to the car. I don't believe he killed her because she was white. I'm wondering wondering if the Uber that she requested was a black male and she automatically saw a black male and just thought it was the Uber car. Fact is that this guy doesn't have an Uber emblem in his window, so maybe the Uber driver that was supposed to pick her up was a black male that drove a black car, but she still should have at least looked at the license plates. And I know sometimes people do this. I remember when I used to drive for Uber, I made mistakes where I thought I picked up the right person and I didn't. And there was one night in particular where it was super dark and I remember it was very foggy, and I was driving Uber to pick up this person that requested a ride, and there was this guy and he just kind of appeared in the middle of the street, and when I pulled up closer to him, he looked so freaking scary. It looked like he hadn't slept in days and his eyes had dark circles underneath them. So I pulled up to allow him to get in the car. Thankfully my car door was locked and he was tugging on the door to get in the car, and then I saw down the road a little bit further that there was a man waving his hands like, hey, like, we're over here, and I sped off so freaking fast because I almost picked up the wrong person, and this guy was actually gonna get in and that could have cost me my life. So I know that people do make these mistakes and the drivers make the mistakes, and it's up to the driver to say, hey, like, I'm not your Uber driver, but this person didn't intend to give anybody a ride that night. Clearly he had death on his mind if he did do this, and it's unfortunate because what Nathaniel did, it's only going to encourage the narrative that black men are so desperate for a white woman that they are willing to kill them in order to get sexual access to them. And unfortunately, some of the time, some of them actually do display how desperate they are. They make videos online talking about how much they lust after them, how much these women love them, appreciate them, etc. And meanwhile, these women are starting initiatives to get them to become the face of rape. And a lot of people are turning this into a whole Me Too thing. So it is up to black men to be able to change that narrative. And it's unfortunate because the good black men are going to suffer as a result of what Nathaniel allegedly did. If he knew he had issues going on, he shouldn't have been out that night. He should have gotten a therapist or whatever. And you know how white media likes to do. They're never going to give him the benefit of the doubt of being mentally ill. They're going to say he's a predator and they're going to charge him to the fullest extent of the law. Meanwhile, Dylan Roof, I believe he is on death row, but people that get on death row, that's almost like a godsend because they take forever to execute them. Meanwhile, taxpayers are paying for them to have a warm bed, a meal every single day. And I'm not wishing death upon anyone. I'm not going to say I'm happy that she died, but I'm definitely not going to be sharing a hashtag around justice for her and promoting her GoFundMe and all that. That's up to white people to do. This is their fight. It's not my fight. All I can say is that black people, we need to do some in-house cleansing with some of these people that have displayed that they have predatory or vicious tendencies. And if you feel as though you're feeling homicidal, you probably need to go and report it to someone. You can actually report it to people that you are feeling homicidal. They probably will commit you to some sort of mental institution, but I feel that's better than you actually going through with killing somebody, because we don't need any more black people in prison. And as you can see with these racist white people, they already feel like we're violent. Somebody made a post saying 13%, and that's a white supremacist talking point where they say, you know, we're 13% of the population but commit over 50% of the crimes, and we already know that the crime statistics are skewed to make it appear as if we are committing more crimes, but they overreport our crimes and underreport theirs. And the best lesson that I can give is that if you're in the situation and you get into an Uber, anytime you get into an Uber, always sit directly behind the driver. Don't get in the front seat. Don't sit diagonally from them. In the event that they lock the doors or put that child lock on, there are some cars that will unlock all locks if you unlock the main driver's side of the door. So if you're sitting across from them, you're not going to be able to reach over and unlock their side of the door. But if you're sitting directly behind them and they put that child lock on, you can kind of slip your hand on the left side part of their driving panel and be able to depress the child lock button, and it will immediately unlock all the doors, but you have to do it kind of fast. You have to have your hand on the back passenger door as you are trying to slip your hand through the space of the driver's side seat as well as the left side where their panel controls are. And hopefully they won't be able to see you, but hey, that's an option. So again, this is not my fight. I'm not sending out a prayer. I'm not sending anything to this family. Our people are killed all the time, and a lot of non-black people are pretty much desensitized to it. So I feel like black people shouldn't allow white media to cause them to grieve for somebody when they don't grieve for you. And even in this case, the governor of South Carolina, Henry McMaster, someone called him out for praying for Samantha, but he didn't pray for these black people, which included a little black girl. Her name is Renaya Wright. She died as a result of bullying, and Haskell Lee Thompson, who was killed in a car crash, or even Evan Gaines, but he made sure to pray for Samantha. So again, this is their fight. It's not my fight. So anyways, you guys, let me know what you feel about this case in particular. Do you feel as if they solved this super fast because she's white? Do you agree with the white people that are enraged and blaming black people for this, when with the Tamla Horsford situation, they don't want to take accountability for that? They're saying not to see race, yet in this case, they are doing the very opposite, which is in fact seeing race like they always do. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.